Today is Monday, February 26th, and today I'm wondering and worrying about the future face of American sports.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Oh, hail! No, I'm not cursing. That's the name of a terrific Dallas roofing company in business more than a decade. They handle residential or commercial properties. And those weird insurance forms that seem to be written in a foreign language? Oh, hail can simplify those for you also. So the next time something happens to your roof, just say, oh, hail. O-H-H-H-A-I-L. Ohail.com.
Hey, I was just wondering, do you know the history of Goodness Steak Seasoning? Well, back in 2010, I had a little bitty roast sitting in the fridge, and I thought, man, I've got to do something with this. So I took that roast, put a whole bunch of different spices on it, wrapped it up, put it on that grill. About 3 hours later, opened it up, and man, heaven in a foil package. That was the beginning stages of what Goodness Steak Seasoning is today. So if you'd like to have a little variety in your life, Goodness Steak Seasoning is where it's at. Limited availability in stores. BringTheTasty.com.
It was just a couple of years ago that the golf world, the sports world, was stunned by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, PIF, challenging the PGA for control of world golf. They gave Phil Mickelson $200 million to leave the PGA Tour and play for the LIV Tour, L-I-V. And then Bryson DeChambeau, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Patrick Reed, many others, and now they've taken former number one in the world, Jon Rahm, to the LIV Tour. Now, they've actually taken everything. The PGA announced a merger with the Saudi Arabia Tour. It wasn't a merger. It was a buyout. Saudi Arabia now controls world golf for all intents and purposes. The cost of the Saudis? A few $1 billion. I don't say that lightly, but it's a drop in the bucket to that public investment fund, which is valued at $650 billion. The Saudis own Newcastle in the English Premier League soccer. They are part owner of the F1 Aston Martin racing team. The British heavyweight champion, Anthony Joshua, has fought twice in Saudi Arabia, 2019, 2022. They bought soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo for a mere $75 million to come play in Saudi Arabia. And the European champion coach from the Italy team, Robert Mancini, suddenly left Italy to coach the Saudi Arabian team. His salary, $27 million a year. They're into pro tennis. The richest horse race in the world is in Saudi Arabia. They've funded the so-called Super League in soccer in Africa. They bought the Spanish soccer team Almira. They're going to be, if they aren't already, the world leader in esports and in global games. In fact, they own the American companies Activision and Electronic Arts. That's right, EA is owned by the Saudis. They've already put a bid in for the 2030 World Cup, and the Olympics will not be far behind. But all this is part of a plan, a real plan, the Saudis call Vision 2030. Why? Why are the Saudis spending so much money in sports these days? It begins with the fact that their worldwide image is awful. The Saudis, for almost the entire existence of their country, regard women as the possessions of men. They are greatly into torture. They have executed publicly dozens and dozens and dozens of people at one time, including murderers and rapists and drug smugglers. But wait, also including what they call people who were tortured and executed for, quote, disrupting the social fabric and national cohesion. They have executed people as young as 15 years old. They have had major prison terms for peaceful protesters. Their trials have been deemed grossly unfair, slave-like treatment for immigrants, horrible punishment for being gay or LGBTQ. Then their leader, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, approved the slaughter of United States journalist citizen Jamal Khashoggi, murdered, dismembered at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in 2018. The act carried out by members of bin Salman's security guard. The Department of Justice here has condemned MBS for this killing. So what does all this mean to sports fans? Well, Saudi Arabia has launched a plan called Vision 2030 to use sports for what is called sports washing. That is, to use sports to cleanse a nation's terrible image. And even when Mickelson took the $200 million from the Saudis, he called them, quote, scary MFers. Scary to American sports fans, too, because the Saudi Public Investment Fund is not finished yet. American sports does not allow foreign investments, that is, foreign buyers of teams, right now. But the NBA recently relaxed their rules in this area to allow what they call passive ownership, not controlling ownership. But it's opened the door. It's opened the door because the Saudis have money to open the door. Many look at the NFL stance and say, if there's enough money, the NFL will relax its rules also. Remember, just not too long ago, the NFL also had rules against associating with gambling. And now the league takes billions and billions of dollars every year from the gambling industry. And what does this come down to? It comes down to that age-old golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. And finally, baseball also has no foreign ownership rules. But just consider this example. The Rangers just won the World Series. Their value, according to Forbes, has jumped all the way to $2.2 billion. This is a huge TV market, brand new ballpark. So what if Ray Davis, the owner of the Rangers, was offered $5 billion by the Saudis' Public Investment Fund. How could he turn it down? How could Major League Baseball turn it down, given what it would do to the values of all the other franchises in the sport? So all this seems far-fetched to you. But you know what? 3 years ago, it was also far-fetched that Saudi Arabia would own the world of golf.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Fluent Financial, by Oh Hell Roofing, and by Goodness Steak Seasoning.
Just Wondering is a production of DSP Media for FanStream Sports. You can find Norm's show along with other great programming at fanstreamsports.com.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering. If you enjoyed it, please hit follow. Then each episode every weekday will be delivered straight to you. And if we might ask one more favor, please share it with friends. I'm Norm Hitzges, and every day I'll be just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.